Welcome back to The Explainer. Let's get right into it because today we are taking the hero's journey of productivity. Look, if you've been using AI as just a slightly smarter search engine, you are absolutely missing out on the real magic. Today, we're going to completely transform AI from this distant sci-fi concept into your own personal, highly capable intern, one that handles your day-to-day chaos without adding a single ounce of extra work to your plate. Here is our roadmap. We are covering the AI landscape, defining your automation goals, crafting high-context prompts, examining your AI results, iterating for better outputs, and wrapping up with some quick tips and workflows. Chapter 1. AI Landscape and Capabilities. Choosing the right model. So, we all know there are a ton of models out there right now, right? You've got ChatGPT for your broad conversational tasks, but let's compare two other massive heavyweights, Google Gemini and Anthropic Claude. Now, Claude is absolutely fantastic for coding and safety alignment, but Gemini has a very distinct advantage when it comes to deep integration with the Google ecosystem. And for the rest of this explainer, we're going to focus heavily on Google Gemini as our primary use case, mostly because of how seamlessly it plugs into the daily tools so many of us are already using, like Gmail and Google Docs. And even within the Gemini family, it's tiered. It's not just a one-size-fits-all deal. You have Gemini Ultra or DeepThink for those highly complex, multi-step reasoning tasks. Then there's Gemini Pro, which is your workhorse for deep research and a broad range of everyday stuff. If you're looking for speed and cost-effectiveness, Gemini Flash is going to be your go-to. And finally, Gemini Nano is designed specifically for on-device local processing. Basically, picking the right tier is exactly like picking the right tool from a toolbox. Chapter 2. Defining your automation goals. Identify high ROI tasks. Before we even think about touching a keyboard to write a prompt, we have to formulate a plan. Consider this. A strong AI use case is tied to outcomes that can be clearly defined and measured. In other words, if you don't know exactly what success looks like, whether that's saving 2 hours a week or literally cutting your typos in half, you just won't know if your AI intern is actually helping. You really need to know your destination before you start driving. So what should you actually automate? Well, think about the highest ROI targets. The average knowledge worker spends hours every single day on things like drafting almost identical email responses, cleaning up messy meeting notes, playing calendar Tetris to find meeting times, or formatting spreadsheet data. Here's a great rule of thumb. If you do a task the exact same way more than 3 times a week, it is a prime candidate to hand over to your Gemini intern. Chapter 3. Crafting high-context prompts, making AI understand you. All right, let's move to execution. This is where we talk about role-based prompting. This means clearly defining a specific persona for the AI. Setting a role totally transforms your AI from this generic, bland chatbot into a highly specialized collaborator. Instead of just saying, write an email, tell Gemini act like a seasoned PR manager talking to a frustrated client. Boom, you've instantly given it the exact context it needs to hit the nail on the head. To pull that off, you've got to scaffold your prompt with 4 critical variables: audience, purpose, tone, and level of detail. Doing this completely eliminates the gap between getting a generic output and getting exactly what you need. Think of it like giving instructions to a super smart but brand new assistant who just isn't familiar with your company's vibe yet. Clear, direct language covering these 4 bases is absolutely your best tool for getting perfect results. Chapter 4. Examining your AI results, the trial phase. Now, AI interns are super eager, but they can sometimes be a little too literal or even a bit overly creative. You always have to ask yourself, is your AI hallucinating? Remember, these models are fundamentally statistical language engines. They want to please you, which means they can sometimes confidently invent facts when they are uncertain. They'll create this totally plausible sounding response that might just be completely wrong. You cannot blindly trust the output. And that is exactly why human in the loop, or HIL, is so vital. It's the critical practice where a human expert, that's you, reviews, interprets, and validates those AI-generated insights before they ever go live. You have to act as the ultimate supervisor for your AI intern, ensuring everything is accurate and perfectly aligned with your goals. This isn't just theory, by the way. Top institutions already do this to stay safe. In healthcare, you have radiologists validating AI image analysis. In banking, human investigators manually review AI-flagged fraud alerts. We're even seeing techniques in research where a separate verifier AI cross-checks the original model's output to catch those hallucinations. They keep human judgment right at the center of the big decisions. Chapter 5, Iterating for Better Outputs, Refining Your Approach. When that first draft from your AI misses the mark, and let's be real, it often will, it is time to iterate. You want to set clear context, define strict constraints to keep things focused, and test systematically. Testing your prompts against challenging edge cases, like weird customer requests or just totally unusual data formats, is absolutely essential for building robust workflows that won't just break the second they hit the real world.
Let's look at a concrete example. Take a super vague prompt like, write a blog post about digital marketing trends. The AI literally has to guess what you want. Compare that to a refined prompt. Write a 500-word blog post outline about emerging Q3 digital marketing trends, focusing on AI automation aimed at professionals. See the difference? Adding specific constraints completely changes the quality and usability of the response in one shot, saving you from endless, frustrating back and forth.
Chapter 6, Quick Tips and Workflows. Returning with the Elixir. Now let's look at some rapid-fire, real-world formulas you can actually implement today. And remember, AI for personal productivity spans everything from creating study plans and brainstorming to troubleshooting random daily issues. It is not just for the office. It's for organizing your entire life and just making everything run so much smoother. Okay, here is the real secret sauce, the core automation formula. You describe what you want, the AI processes the data, and an automation platform moves the result to exactly the right place. This simple formula means you can literally connect an AI to your inbox to automatically draft replies or route your messages without writing a single line of code. Let's apply this directly to Gemini with some rapid workflows. Because Gemini is baked right into the workspace tools you already use, it acts way less like a separate app and more like an intelligent collaborator sitting right next to you. Imagine having it summarize a nightmare 30 email thread in Gmail and just hand you your action items. Or using it in Docs to instantly draft an outline when you have writer's block. Or in Sheets, where you can just ask it in plain English to calculate profit margins. It completely democratizes these tasks. So, we've covered the landscape, your goals, prompting like a pro, and some killer workflows, which leaves us with one final question. If an AI can knock out your most soul-crushing repetitive tasks in literal seconds, what are you going to do with all that time you just got back? Identify that one time-consuming task that's draining your week, hand it over to your AI intern today, and take control of your productivity. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy automating.